Hi, I am Dr. Danielle Lidoff, and today I really want to talk about women exercising to optimize their hormones. I want to go through a training with you guys and really explain to you how your cycle affects how your exercise and your food helps you have the metabolism you want. So just for example, let's say you did a training program or a transitional program and you're working out with your husband and you're working out every day. Every day is very similar. It's very intense. Your food maybe be keto all month long. And you're like, this is not sustainable. And you're right, it's not sustainable because women need to cycle. And women, it's very, very important that women cycle throughout the month. So what happens on the first week of your cycle is very, very different than on the third week of your cycle. And you want to understand how to put that in place so that every week you're giving your body really good information so that your body can gain metabolic flexibility so that it can use its hormones to do what you want it to do, right? To give you energy, to make muscles, to make your skin glow, to let you sleep really well. And that the way that you eat every month and the way that you exercise paired together can let that happen. So I want to share my screen with you guys. And I'm going to show you this little cycle map that I have put together and we'll go through it together. So for women, we're going to break it down if you are cycling woman. And even if you're through menopause, this is really, really helpful. If you are a cycling woman, every week of the month, your cycle, your hormones is different. So we're going to just talk about a regular cycle of 28 days, 7 days is each week. Right now, if you don't cycle exactly like that, you can move this around a little bit, but for simplicity, we're going to look at this. So the first week of your cycle is the bleed week. Day 1 is the day you get your period. At that point in time, what's really good, you have very low hormones at that time of the month. And this is the time that we want to be pretty gentle with ourselves. You may have some cramping. You may be a little tired. That first week, we want to just move, right? We want to move gently. We want to give ourselves the space to just be. That time of the month, when we have very low hormones, we don't really want to be spiking insulin a lot. So this is the time of the month where we really want to be keto. And we look at that 70% fat, 20% protein, and 10% carbohydrate. This is what's going to sustain you. So we're looking at things like really nice soups with meat in them and vegetables in them. There's things that are warming, things that feel good. We're looking at some proteins. We're not looking at chips and chocolate and those types of things. Our carbohydrates should be pretty low, so they should be above ground vegetables. We also want to move. So an optimal exercise program at this time of the month, at the beginning of the week, we want to start with like really low intensity. So that first day of your period, you want to be doing gentle walking. You want to be outside with nature. You want to be maybe doing some gentle yoga. This is not the day to push yourself. Your body just doesn't have it. So, and as the week goes on, you can start increasing your intensity as you start feeling better. So really allow for recovery. This is not the week you want to go 5 days a week at 4:30 in the morning. This is the week that you want to go for a walk on Monday, maybe do some gentle yoga on Tuesday, and maybe sleep in on Wednesday. You also want to pay attention to what's going on in your week at work or with your kids. So if it's a crazy, crazy week, give yourself time. It's not going to help you to do crazy exercise if you're being stressed in other places. So you're allowing for rest this week. Week 2, this is the week to push. This is when, if you start looking at week 2, as we start going, there's day 7, we're going to go up. Our hormones are elevating. Our estrogen is elevating. Our FSH is elevating. Everything's getting higher. And as our hormones elevate, as our estrogen elevates, we're going to feel more energy. We're going to feel more powerful. We are going to feel like we're ready to go. This is the week that you don't have to worry about pushing for motivation. This is the week that motivation comes to you. You should wake up feeling pretty refreshed. So again, we're on day 7, we start increasing as that week goes, right? This is a good week where we want to work out a lot. We want to move a lot. We might want to change our macros so that we're doing about 40% fat, 40% protein, and increase those carbohydrates as we're increasing our estrogen. So I want to be very, very clear. We are increasing carbohydrates. We are not increasing cake, cookies, fries. That's not where we want to find our energy. This is the week that we're going to be having things like beets and tubers and, parsnips roasted with thyme and rosemary. These are the type of carbohydrates we want. Sweet potatoes, right? Like a sweet potato hash or something like that. So it's still vegetables. It might be berries, it might be a little bit of a banana. So we're increasing our carbohydrate because your body needs that to build that endometrial lining. And you're going to be craving those carbs. So we want to be supporting that as estrogen is going up. So this is the week to push your exercise. This is when you're going to have that energy. You're going to feel strong, right? This is when you want to lift heavy. So at the beginning of that week, you might want to do 4 weight training sessions this week. These are the weight trainings where they are heavy, they are hard, they are pushed, okay? This is your intensity day. You can do HIIT trainings, but I want you to be really careful. This is also the time of the month where ligaments tend to be more laxed, meaning that they're looser. So this is the time of the month where if you're playing a sport, a lot of women might tear their ACL. This is the time of the month where if you are throwing around kettlebells and you're not controlled, that's when you're going to strain your back. So you want to be careful this month or this week. You can lift heavy, you can lift hard, but you want to be in control. So this might be the time to do strict pull-ups, not kipping pull-ups. This might be the time to do a very strict, heavy deadlift, but not a really fast clean, right? Those motions with momentum, that's where you want to be really careful, right? If you want to do a HIIT training, all body weight this week, that's great. I just don't want you throwing around weights or jumping really crazy because this is the time that your ligaments are in, they're just predisposed to being injured. So just be careful with that push. Push hard, but don't be nuts, right? Like no flipping tires this week, okay? Week 3, right? So we're looking here, that's after ovulation. So your hormones are starting to go down again, except for progesterone. Progesterone starts to go up, right? So we're starting to get down with that estrogen. So this is the time of the week. And again, we're going to do this again, where we're starting really heavy and we're working towards decreasing our weight, decreasing our intensity as the week goes on, right? So with these exercises, you can do HIIT training. This is your muscles are going to start, or your ligaments are going to get tighter this week. So you can really push this week. You can do momentum this week. You can do any kind of HIIT. You can do lifting. This is the week to do what feels good. You might not want to do it as hard as possible, but definitely around that 80%, 70, 60%, somewhere around there. Steady state cardio is always great this week as well. So you're challenging that stress response. For your food, it's back to the same, right? So if you kind of look at week 1, the hormones are similar to week 3, right? So we're going back to that keto or 70% fat, 20% protein, and 10% carbohydrate. The last week of the month, this is when everything is low, right? Our body is really low. This is where you're going to start to feel those cravings. This is where you're going to feel tired. This is not the week to push. This is the week to be kind. This is the week we're doing light weights. We're doing higher reps. We're going for a walk again. We're doing some gentle yoga. If you feel up to it, you can do a HIIT, you can lift, but this is not the time to push. This is the time where we want to be more in that like 50%, 60% zone so that our body can recover. And then again, back to that 40% fat, 40% protein, and 20% carbohydrate. We want to up those carbohydrates and eat some of those foods that, are comforting. And if you do this, then you're not going to be reaching for the chocolate bars and you're not going to be reaching for the crazy crummy stuff that your body tends to want right before your period. So if we satiate it, we're not going to be wanting to have those carbohydrates and those cravings. So I hope this is really helpful for you guys in understanding how to make your body food-wise and exercise-wise pair with your cycle so that your body does exactly what it wants to do. Thank you so much for listening. It's been great talking to you.